Hey everybody, how you doing today? This is Mikey. If the lighting looks a little subdued, I apologize. We are without power. Power went out about 2.5, 3 hours ago. So now I'm in my garage, have my camp stove going, trying to make some corned beef and cabbage. Kind of hard when there's no power. So I broke out the camp stove, I have it cooking on there. So I'm stuck in the garage, keeping an eye on my corned beef and cabbage. Well, technically, I'm directly above it, approximately. So if my camp stove catches on fire and the place goes down, I'm the first one to die. Sun is kind of breaking through the clouds a little bit from the storm we're having. However, the winds are still pretty high. I'm looking at the trees out the window and they're just right now. But yeah, power company says power is out for approximately 6,000 households in the county, and they have no idea where the problem is, and they have no estimate on when they'll get it fixed. So yeah, with this kind of weather, they probably have multiple trees down on power lines. So today, what am I doing? Homemade dipping tobacco experiment, flavoring twist number 1. What I have done here with my homemade chew or homemade dip, I have took some licorice root, some liquid sweetener, a dollop of Scotch whiskey, and a little bit of vanilla flavoring. And right now I am smelling vanilla. So let's see. I tried a dip of this straight out when the batch was done. Had some bitterness to it because there was no sweeteners, nothing to offset the bitterness. Natural plain tobacco has a little bit of a bitter note to it. Had some bitterness. The nicotine content was still on the high side for me. I cut back on the alkalizers to try and tame it from my first attempt, because my first attempt was strong. But this stuff here still had some strength to it as well. So, I don't know. Anyway, took a mason jar, filled it about halfway with some tobacco. Went with my little flavoring experiment here. It smells really good. Has a nice subtle vanilla. And I left it, it was a shag cut pipe / roll your own tobacco. So I left it that way. I didn't try and break it up anymore. So I kind of have an a la Stoker's cut thing going on here. We shall see. Ooh. I like the initial taste. This is the initial taste right off the bat. Sweet and vanilla. I was kind of hoping some of the Scotch notes would come out, but right now just sweetness and the vanilla. The vanilla finally worked. Last time I tried the vanilla, it didn't work out very well. This time I tried the vanilla and I just went heavy on the vanilla flavoring. It's like a candy flavoring for flavoring candies and frostings and stuff. It said just a couple of drops will do. No, it didn't. So this time I did like 9 drops. I'm getting vanilla. It was pretty dry when I first made it. Yeah, I'm using the Stoker's plastic can. I cut back on the moisture content for the original batch, knowing that as I was going through the flavoring, it would add additional moisture to it. So the moisture level turned out right about where I like it. Not bad. Man, that wind is ripping out there. Kind of nice that the sun's kind of peeking through, though. Gets a little dark up here without any lights. Thank goodness I have the one lonely window. Right there. With the lovely view of my neighbor's backyard. But yeah, this winter's last oomph before we start heading into spring. And in true Southern Oregon fashion, this one's pretty good. A lot of the back roads are flooded out. There's one road, the culvert collapsed, so that road's going to be useless for whenever they get around to fixing it. In our little rural neck of the woods, it'll probably be a couple of months. So the people who live down on that little stretch of road are going to have to go instead of taking the easy way in the town, they go all the way around. adds like an additional 10 miles to their trip, taking the other back road. So yeah, life in small town America. We get by. Yeah, people are posting pictures on Facebook of all the floods and stuff like they've never seen it before. It's like it happens every single year, people. Every single year. But everybody's got to ask, like, this is the worst year ever. Like, no. This storm is a good one, but it happens every year. Don't know what to tell you. Next year, they'll be saying, it's the worst storm ever. No. It happens every year. Yeah. So. You ever notice how people always want to say something that's going on, it's the worst it's ever been? I've never seen it this bad. Yeah, it's been this bad before. It's been worse. Been a lot worse. Imagine doing this back in the 1800s when you had a big storm come through. Instead of complaining that your internet is down and you had to watch the NASCAR race streaming on your phone for the last 2 hours of the race, because luckily the cell towers are still working. You know, you had a big storm come through and your barn burned down, you lost all your livestock, they drowned, and you don't know what you're going to do this season because your family might starve. Kind of makes our problems seem small by comparison. Blame it all on Trump. Yeah. It's all Elon's fault. Yeah. Nobody voted for Elon, and look what he's doing in the government. Yeah, nobody voted for Fauci either. Look what he did. Basically shutting down the country and then refusing to reopen it. Yeah. And how much money did Fauci make? He was the highest paid federal employee in history. Elon's not, he's doing this for free. He's not making any money. He's losing money. Yeah. Oh well. Enough politics and weather. How are you guys doing? Drop down in the comments below. How's life treating you lately? For me, pretty good. Not bad. I can't complain. Life has been normal for the most part. I did have some fun. Someone broke into one of my email accounts, my main email account. I got it locked down before they could get anything real sensitive, but they managed to get my contacts and about 2/3 of my photos that I had stored on that account. And about an hour later, I started getting text messages from an anonymous phone number. I tried to trace it. It's one of those throwaway numbers you can get with those apps that the kids use. Give me $3,000 or I'm going to put your face on naked pictures and you're going to be embarrassed and all your friends are going to think you're a pervert. Half my friends think I'm a pervert anyway. Have fun. Give me long hair and ripped abs while you're at it. And then they got really mad and started, you got 24 hours or I'm going to show your wife these pictures. Like my wife's sitting right next to me laughing while I'm showing her these texts. And my wife was, 24 hours come and went, nothing. Yeah, they were just hoping I'd cave and give them some money. Yeah, right. Stupid idiot. It's either someone I know, because some of the times they said, they were kind of talking like they may know me in passing, or they just gathered that information off on a Google search after they got my contact information. I lead a rather public life in the area. I'm one Google search away from people getting my name, my phone number, my address, all that fun stuff. Yeah. Thanks for, if you ever get yourself on the ballot somewhere, that information is public. But yeah, that cost me, I guess they wanted me to stress me out and give them some money. Instead, I just laughed at them. So as long as they don't do anything with the pictures of my grandkids they downloaded, if they do that, I'm going to track them down. They will never find the corpse. They can post my face on whatever nudies they want to. Like I said, just give me a big weenie and, long hair. That's all I ask. Anyway, yeah. That's the most excitement I've had around here in quite some time. It's just been working. working, making videos, watching some TV, reading some books. Reading a good book lately. It's about the various states that never were. Had all these states come to exist, we would have 60 United States, not 50. Some of them I never heard of. The state of Mojave. There was another one up in the Montanas area. I forget what they were going to name it. The state of Jefferson is the one that's most known around here locally. Southern Oregon and Northern California were going to break away from Oregon and California and form the state of Jefferson. That one almost came to be. But the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. Everything got thrown off to the side, focused on the war effort, World War II. And it was never really revisited, so yeah. But some people say that was actually headed towards the president's desk. I had to check, make sure my microphone's still on. But yeah, this stuff, it's actually got a decent vanilla flavor to it. It's actually lasting. Nicotine, moderate nicotine level. It's got sweetness, it's got vanilla. You can almost see my breath. Woo. Sweetness, vanilla. I'm not really catching any of the scotch though. The scotch must have just helped mellow out the vanilla flavor. Licorice root adds to the sweetness, and it has some antibacterial properties to help prevent spoilage and stuff. Liquid Splenda incorporates into the tobacco much better than powdered stuff. But yeah, moderate nicotine. It's sweet, has that subtle vanilla. The vanilla was strong when it first went in. Right now, I'd say it's tapered off a bit, but it's still very vanilla forward, which is kind of nice. One of these days, I'm going to break down and buy some dark fired tobacco and try my hand at fermenting it the way the big companies do, and then cutting it up into chew or dip and making my own that way with the actual dark fired. This was just the cheap roll your own pipe tobacco / cigarette tobacco that you can get at the smoke shops. 1 pound bag set me back like $13, something like that, maybe 14, 13 or 14, something like that. And this batch I made, I used less than half of the bag, so I got plenty left to experiment even further. This dip was pretty much pasteurized. The process I used required putting it in a pressure cooker. Oh, man, I can really smell corned beef down there now. It's starting to smell good. But yeah, I was hoping for some corned beef and cabbage, and hopefully it'll be done. I had it in the slow cooker, let it go low and slow. This camp stove, the lowest setting it's got is probably high for a slow cooker, so we'll see. It'll be ready for dinner. But yeah, for a homemade dip using non-dark fired tobacco, this turned out pretty well. I'm much better than my first attempt. Let me just put it that way. My first attempt was just testing the waters, getting a process down. The second attempt, kind of improving on that process a little bit, adjusting the ingredients a little bit from my first try, and it worked out pretty well. And considering I got enough dip in the bag probably to make 8 or 9 cans, at least, maybe even 10. And I only used half of a bag that cost me $14. So yeah, I'm coming in under $1.10 when it's all said and done. Not bad at all. If you enjoy the content, be sure to like and subscribe. I appreciate it. I do have a members option now. $2 a month gets you early access to all the videos. You could be watching this weeks before anybody else does. Right now, this is March 16th, 2025, and if I remember my schedule right for how far out I have reviews going, I have them dropping every other day right now. This one will hit towards the latter part of April 25th, I believe. So, yeah, you'll have over a month's worth of videos, one every other day, to enjoy as a member. You can see them before anybody else does. Also have a Patreon page as a fallback measure for if and when YouTube ever comes after me, because I have nicotine-related products. Right now, I'm not charging anything for the membership, or I do have a membership tier over there, but most of the content is available to everybody. You don't have to pay. Just sign up. You get to see the stuff over there about 5 to 7 days before it drops on YouTube. So you do get a little bit advanced bonus from the Patreon page, but you really get the advanced bonus from doing here on the YouTube side. And I appreciate the support, and it helps keep me in product for dip reviews. Anyway, this has been Homemade Tobacco Dip Experiment number 2. First flavoring attempt with this batch, number 1. Tried a vanilla. It turned out pretty good. Moderate nicotine. It's sweet. It's vanilla melony. Nice vanilla flavor. There's the proper grammar for that. And the wind is ripping outside. Man, I can hear it just battening off everything. Anyway, I will catch you all later on the flip side. Y'all take care. I hope the power comes on soon. I gotta go down and check my corned beef, make sure it's not burning. Bye.